Jefferson County Court Law number 2 is back in session. Court is in session and cause number M327-305, case of Solid State of Texas versus John Jamal Jones. Mr. Jones, is that your full name?
Sure.
How you doing, Mr. Jones? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. And Mr. Jones, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Langston Adams. So Attorney Adams, again, how are you doing?
Doing well.
Mr. Adams, do you waive a record in
Yes,
Mr. Jones' case?
Yes, sir.
And state is represented by Attorney, excuse me, Lamar Johnson. Attorney Johnson, again, how are you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
Now, Mr. Jones, did you raise your swear? Mr. Jones, do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Jones, you may put your hand down. Now, Mr. Jones, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that on or about February 29th of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration level of 0.15 or more. Mr. Jones, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Sir.
And to discharge, Mr. Jones, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest. Are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Mr. Jones, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments, also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of the same document, there are a set of initials, JJ, that are on a line next to a box that's checked no contendere, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document? On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is this your signature? And the next document is titled Trial Court Certification to Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant? There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that? The next box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that? Now, Mr. Jones, I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? Now, Mr. Jones, before you sign and initial all of these documents that I've just mentioned to you, did your attorney, Mr. Adams, go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything in these documents? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Jones, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, and I have State's Exhibit Number 2, the probable cause affidavit in the court's file. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibits 1 and 2?
Yes, Your Honor. State offer States 1 and States 2.
Any objections?
None.
No objections. State's Exhibit 1 and 2 are admitted into evidence. Mr. Adams, you've advised and counseled Mr. Jones. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, sir.
Mr. Jones, your attorney, Mr. Adams, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation? Has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation? Mr. Jones, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
Your Honor, in exchange for defendants to give no contest in this case, the state is recommending confinement in Jefferson County Jail for a period of 90 days, Your Honor. We're asking that the court suspend imposing that sentence at this time and instead place the defendant on community supervision for 1 year.
Okay, go ahead on.
Community supervision for 1 year, Your Honor, required defendant to pay a $500 fine to complete 50 hours of community service.
50 hours of community service.
Yes, sir. In addition to the standard terms and conditions of DWI probation, we're asking that the defendant be required to install an interlock device and to take drug and alcohol, DWI education course, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, let me do this. Okay. What are you talking about? Oh, no, you gotta talk to your probation officer about that.
They might let you buy it all.
Yeah, let's do this here. Now, this is 407 for cause. It's 7:30. You gotta. Mr. Jones, the state is offering that you serve 90 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not be required to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail because you'll be placed on probation for 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $407, which comes to a total of fine and court costs of $907. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee, $15 each month. You will be required to attend the Jefferson County DWI education class and will pay a DWI education class an initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay while you're on probation each month, is $164. Mr. Jones, will you be able to pay the $164 each month? Well, I just need to know, would you be able to pay the $164 each month?
Yes, sir.
I mean, yes or no? Or you say,
I need a job, yeah, I will.
so you're unemployed? Okay.
Well,
Okay, let me use your calculator again.
unemployed.
Okay, thanks. That's So he was court appointed? The
Yes.
court had found out he was indigent at that time,
Yes,
and
sir.
he's still indigent, is that
Still
correct?
indigent.
Nothing has changed? Okay,
And if possible, would the court consider
okay.
on the
Let me
lowest
just-
fee?
Okay, this is what the court is going to do. Now, the fine and court costs of totaling $907 is going to be converted to community service. You'll be required to do 73 hours of community service to work off the fine and court costs. The probation fee of $60 is going to be reduced to the statutory minimum of $25. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And so what's going to happen, the probation office is going to rework the fees. So the court is going to, one, find that you're indigent pursuant to Article 42.15 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. And based on that finding, the fine and court costs totaling $907 will be converted to 73 hours of community service, and the probation fee of $60 each month is going to be reduced to $25 a month. Now, you'll still be required to pay the $15 a month, your analysis fee. Let me ask you something. It's another one for here. So you have court-appointed attorney's fees too? You said you was court-appointed?
Mhm.
So, did we have, okay. So that's gonna change, okay. So the court-appointed attorney's fees that will be reimbursed is $250. Now, the probation office is going to recalculate the amount that you'll be required to pay each month. Then I'll just go ahead and repeat it. State is offering that you serve 90 days in Jefferson County Jail. You will not have to serve 90 days in Jefferson County Jail because you'll be in probation for 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required that you are required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $407. That $500 plus court costs of $407 is going to be converted to 73 hours of community service. You'll also be required to pay, instead of paying $60 a month in probation fee, it'll be $25 a month, which is the statutory minimum. You'll also be required to pay a urinalysis fee of $15 a month. You'll be required to reimburse Jefferson County court-appointed attorney's fees of $250. You will also be required to attend it to, I think, pay the Jefferson County DW education class and initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the police should a further evaluation be needed. You'll be required to pay an additional $50. Now, you'll also be required, in addition to the 73 hours that was converted from fine and court costs, you'll be required to perform 50 hours of community service. So your total amount of community service will be 123 hours community service. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And you'll also be required to attend and complete a DW education class, have a drug and alcohol assessment, and install an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate. And you will also be required to adhere to the understand the terms and conditions of this probation. Mr. Jones, do you understand the state's offer and the court's adjustments? And do you think that is fair and just? And do you accept it? Okay, Mr. Jones, I'll follow the plea bargain with the court's adjustments that you've made in this case. The clerk has to draft up the paperwork. You're gonna have a seat in the gallery. And once the paperwork is drafted up, you'll come forward and she needs to get your prints. All right? And I think Mr. Adams, this is your last case.
That's it.
So
Thank you.
you'll be
Judge.
free to go and you have a blessed day.
Y'all take it easy.
All right, thank you.
Good luck, man.
Jefferson County Court Law number 2, back in session. Court is in session in cause number M327958-1. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Khadijah Winfield. Ms. Winfield, is that your full name? Ms. Winfield, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Winfield, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Ms. Winfield, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Winfield?
Fine.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Ms. Winfield, you represented in your case by your attorney, Wright Kimler. Attorney Kimler, do you waive a record in Ms. Winfield's case?
We do, Your Honor.
Ms. Winfield, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information alleges that on or about March 18 of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of criminal mischief. Ms. Winfield, do you understand what you've been charged with? And to discharge Ms. Winfield, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yeah, she's getting felonies.
Okay, well, my question is that are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? That's what no contest means. Okay. Now, Ms. Winfield, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of the same document, there's a set of initials KW that are on a line next to a box that's checked nolo contendere, which means no contest. Did you place your initials KW on this document? On page 3 of the same document, is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant? Right. Now, did I swear you in?
Yes, you did.
Okay. And the next document, which is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document? Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that? The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that? I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Ms. Winfield, do you recognize this document?
That's one you said.
Is this your signature on this document? Now, Ms. Winfield, do you, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I've just mentioned to you, did your attorney, Mr. Kimler, go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything in these documents? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Ms. Winfield, are you a citizen of the United States? State, I have before me, State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. And I have in the court's file, State's Exhibit number 2, the probable cause affidavit. Would you like to offer State's Exhibits 1 and 2 into evidence?
Yes, Your Honor, state will.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objections. State's Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Kilman, you have advised and counseled Ms. Winfield. Is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Winfield, your attorney, Mr. Kimler, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation? Has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation? Ms. Winfield, I will accept
Your
your,
Honor, I think we need the phone.
He just entered.
Okay, I didn't check. So they're just over here.
huh? Then I said State's Exhibits 1 and 2.
Two.
Oh, okay.
And
So
you
that's
said-
2. I didn't understand.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure since it is a no contest plea that we have the probable cause.
Right.
affidavit.
right. So let me ask you this now, Miss, let's see. Mr. Kimler has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation? Has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation? And Mr. Kimler, you advised and counseled Ms. Winfield. Is there any evidence that she's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None that I'm aware of.
Ms. Winfield, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Can I get your, calculator? State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do.
What is that agreement?
Exchange for a plea of no contest, state agrees to recommend 6 months deferred adjudication, community supervision,
6 months deferred, okay,
$500 fine in the court cost,
505 plus court costs,
40 hours community service,
40 hours community service.
payment of restitution of $120 to Tamika Charles.
Restitution of 120,
Yes,
$120 to Tamika.
plain this.
Okay, let me assess Tomeka Charles. Okay,
And then they're dismissed.
Correct.
oh, well, that's not, okay,
Standard terms and conditions, Judge, that for all our probation.
okay. Let me, hold on, I wasn't finished. Now, is this it? Hit what twice? Well, let me ask you this here. Are you, the court asked you whether or not were you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? Is that correct? And what was your answer? What's your answer? And that's still your answer?
No.
So you're not pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
No.
Okay, well, the court is not going to follow the plea bargaining agreement
They're gonna refile.
in this case. And, okay, let me do this here.